What did it look like at ground zero? What did it feel like? What did it smell like? What you said it there was a sense that it was almost like a war zone. But can you paint a picture of how much dust is in the air? How hot is it? How many people are there? And again, how did it feel like?
It was just, it was a scene of controlled chaos. Control because there was a semblance of command and we were just trying to do our jobs. But it was such a frantic pace because we're now digging frantically, knowing that there's life underneath this pile.
And this is throughout the afternoon of that day, the
This
evening.
is, yeah, I mean, this was nonstop, just nonstop really for days. But for my particular crew, we literally kept going. We initially were dispatched over towards number 7, had just gone down, and we were searching the post office that was there. There was reports of people trapped, and we painstakingly searched every single inch of that building to make sure no one was left in there. And then we were deployed to the pile, and the pile is sort of ambiguous because there was just such a vast pile. I mean, it went for city blocks. And we were assisting in the retrieval of 2 Port Authority police officers were lucky enough to survive, but they were trapped. They were deep down into a crevasse and they had to be physically dug out and extricated. So there was a few hundred guys involved in that process of bringing in equipment, jaws of life, airbags to lift steel, to cut pieces of steel. It was just a huge operation. And we were back toward the logistics end of it, shuttling in gear and bringing in stretchers, bringing in oxygen, whatever was needed. And you were trying to climb over this jagged pile of debris. It wasn't like you just walked 100 feet on a street with something. You were trying to climb over this I-beam and then down into this hole and then back up that hole. I mean, just to run one piece of equipment took a half an hour to get 100 feet, 200 feet. Mind you, some of these pieces of equipment are 100 pounds, generator for Hearst tools, this massive motor on a frame.
Unstable ground.
Unstable ground, just horrible conditions. Fires were still burning aside you, beneath you. And at one point, I kind of veered off to the side and I was with this other fireman from my father's old ladder company, 172. And it was strange because we were down quite a bit down, like 70 feet down into this ravine of debris. And he says, "Brother, what do you hear?" And at the time, it was like dust. It was like sand just falling down a pile. And it was hissing from gas pipes and water pipes. And I said, "Oh, I hear the gas lines. I hear the sand. I hear the concrete." He goes, No. What else do you hear?" And just aside of us was a lady's pocketbook and a high heel shoe and someone's sneaker, but nobody with it. And I said, "I don't know. I don't hear anything." He says, "Me neither." He goes, "No one's coming out of here." And I said, No. There's got to be someone coming out of here. I mean, there's thousands of people in here and they're coming out. He says, "Brother, we would hear them calling for help. They're gone." And I still at that point thought there was a chance. And after about the 4th day, they just said, "This is a recovery now. There's no more life. There's no more chance." And on that first night, we went full tilt till my crew, my specific crew of 12, 15 guys, and 4 a.m, we just couldn't breathe anymore. We couldn't see. We were caked it was like if you took flour and just kept dousing yourself. And the lieutenant just said, "Look, guys, we're going to go back. We're going to get some medical aid, and then we'll come back in a few hours." And we took a city bus back through the Battery Tunnel. And unbeknownst to us, that morning, this off-duty firefighter, Steven Siller from Squad Company 1, he raced down there with his pickup. And he couldn't go any further because the traffic was stopped up because they had a report of a bomb. So everything was held up. And he grabbed his fire gear and he put it on. Stuff weighs about 60 pounds. And he ran through the tunnel. 2.5 miles. Got to the end of the tunnel. Fire truck was coming in from the other way. He hopped on the back, got him up to West Street, jumped off, tried to look for his company where they were. And he was never seen again. He's
Just
gone.
ran through the tunnel.
Ran through the tunnel, and he got there to help his team. Right. It's all about the team. It's all about the guy right next to you. And he's the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, Stephen. His brother Frank decided in his name, in perpetuity, he's got a fund that now builds a home for every Gold Star family, for every seriously battle wounded warrior, for every seriously wounded first responder or killed in a line of duty first responder. If they had a home, they'll pay the mortgage. If they didn't have a home, they give them a home. And especially if it's a severely battle wounded, they give them a smart home, because these poor guys come home with no limbs. And so the beauty of Stephen and his selfless act was that he's now helped thousands and thousands of people. I mean, the Tunnel to Towers is incredible. That's part of our mission, is to bring awareness to these great people at Tunnel to Towers. What they do, they've raised $250 million to help protect the protectors, to rescue the rescuers in a what's become, unfortunately, a somewhat ungrateful society. But they will not forget these great guys.
So you tell Stephen's story. He's one of the 20 people that you talk about in the new Iron Labs 20 for 20 podcast series. If you can just linger on his story a little longer, what does that tell you about the human spirit? That this guy, the tunnel couldn't drive through, so he just puts on that heavy pack and runs. What do you make of that?
That shows the depth of a man's soul. He didn't have to do that. He could have turned around and went home to his family, and nobody would have shamed him. But he's one of those beautiful, brave people that take a job that really doesn't pay a lot of money, and you become a cop or a firefighter or a nurse or an EMT or a medic or soldier or Marine, an airman, sailor. When you take these jobs, you don't do it for fanfare. You definitely don't do it for money. I mean, those 13 brave souls we lost, a week or two ago in Afghanistan, they're brand new soldiers and Marines. They make $22,000 an hour, but they don't work 40 hours a week. They work 80, they work 90 hours a week. So they're making about $6 an hour. And you know what? They sign up. And firefighters and cops and medics and EMTs, nurses, emergency room doctors, they don't really make a lot of money. I mean, their starting salary right now for a New York cop, I was a New York cop for 2 years first. I made $12.25 an hour back in 1989 to get shot at during the crack wars. If you made $11 an hour with a family of 4, you were entitled to welfare back then. So I was just above the welfare level, risking my life. And these are the guys that are getting ripped up now, right? And look, I won't get into any politics, but that says something about someone's soul, that they're willing to take a job like that and get zero respect. So a guy like Stephen, what that shows is the depth of that man's soul and courage and determination. It's hard to be selfless in this world anymore, but I still know a lot of selfless people that just put on equipment every day, bulletproof vests, fire bunker gear, stethoscopes, flak jackets, military helmets, and they go in and they do it smiling. That young Marine that passed last week, she was photographed and quoted as saying, "I have my dream job," as she was holding a little Afghani baby. And she was dead a few days later. She was so thrilled to be making $7 an hour helping people, right? Isn't that huge? That to me says that's a true sign of character right there.
And it's important for our society to elevate those people as heroes,